In the midst of Liverpool's chaotic 2022-23 winter, Luis Diaz emerged like a bolt of light, lighting up the left flank with his electric dribbles and boundless energy. He became the beating heart of a team in transition. Fast forward to the 2024-25 season, Diaz didn't just keep that fire alive, he thrived. A key force behind Liverpool's triumphant Premier League campaign, he danced past defenders, chased every lost cause, and gave the Kop a reason to believe. But modern football is no longer just about the magic on the pitch. It's about cold numbers, wages, age, and ambition. And when a player who's arguably your best performer earns less than others around him, pride begins to speak louder than loyalty. Quietly but decisively, Luis Diaz closed the chapter on his Anfield journey and looked to a new beginning in Germany, where Bayern Munich rolled out the red carpet, full of hope and expectations. And yet, the Allianz Arena is no stranger to broken dreams. Just 2 years ago, it was the same stage that witnessed the downfall of another Liverpool star, Sadio Mane. Back then, Bayern welcomed Mane with open arms, believing he would carry the torch once held by Ribéry and Robben. But smiles from the unveiling quickly turned into cold stares. The breaking point? A furious punch aimed at Leroy Sané in the aftermath of a crushing Champions League defeat to Manchester City. Trust was shattered. The club gave up. Mane left unceremoniously, leaving behind a scar that still lingers. So now we ask, is Luis Diaz the answer to Bayern's attacking rebirth? Or is this the beginning of another cautionary tale in their transfer history? And for Liverpool, could this be yet another masterstroke? Just like they once cashed in on Philippe Coutinho, said goodbye to Wijnaldum, and gracefully moved on from Firmino and even Mane. Could this be another calculated move that paves the way for something greater? There's no doubt Luis Diaz was among Liverpool's finest in 2024-25. With Diogo Jota plagued by injuries and Mohamed Salah showing the first signs of age despite his enduring class, it was Diaz who became the tireless engine on the left. His resilience, blistering pace, and dazzling dribbles made him Arne Slot's go-to man, week in and week out. But behind the passion and flair lies another fire, the kind fueled by money and ambition. At around £140,000 a week, Diaz's wages paled in comparison to teammates like Alexis Mac Allister, Dominic Szoboszlai, and of course Salah. Bayern came knocking, offering to double his £7 million a year salary. And inside the Liverpool camp, it was no secret. Diaz wanted more, not just in terms of footballing challenge, but recognition and reward. Liverpool chose a familiar path, sell the star while he's still hot, and only when there's a plan in place. Luis Diaz will turn 29 in a few months. With his form peaking and the market ripe, Liverpool seized the moment, striking a €75 million deal with Bayern Munich. It was smart business, and part of a bigger vision. The Reds are going all in for Alexander Isak, a complete forward who fits seamlessly into Arne Slot's tactical blueprint. At the same time, Cody Gakpo is rediscovering his form, and young Hugo Ekitike is eager to fight for a starting role. This isn't new territory for Liverpool. From Coutinho to Mane, Firmino to Wijnaldum, the club has never hesitated to move on from big names. And yet, every time they've managed to rebuild without missing a beat. Luis Diaz may have been brilliant, but he's not untouchable in this well-oiled machine of smart recruitment and evolution. From a tactical perspective, Bayern's move for Diaz makes perfect sense. Kingsley Coman has struggled with consistency. Serge Gnabry has become increasingly erratic. And with Mathys Tel now in a Tottenham shirt, the Bavarians needed a wide man with pace, flair, and a touch of chaos to stretch the game and feed Harry Kane through the middle. Diaz ticks all those boxes. His arrival becomes even more crucial with Jamal Musiala sidelined due to a serious injury, likely missing the entire first half of the season. But Bayern also know how quickly hype can turn to heartbreak. Just ask Sadio Mane. He came to Munich with stardust in his wake. A proven winner, lightning fast, experienced, and technically sharp. But it all unraveled. Mane never truly fit into Bayern's tactical structure, and tensions in the dressing room boiled over. It ended not with a bang, but with a quiet exit, one that left scars on both sides. Now the question is, will Luis Diaz succeed where Mane failed? Because while Diaz thrives on individual brilliance, Bayern, especially under Vincent Kompany, demand precision, control, and tight-knit combinations. Kompany's philosophy is more intricate, more calculated, and far less forgiving of players who rely purely on instinct or flair. And unlike Klopp or Slot, Kompany is still new to handling the intense personalities that often come with South American talent. Let's not forget, Bayern's dressing room is infamously tough. If Diaz doesn't settle quickly, if the chemistry doesn't click, the Colombian could easily join the long list of big names who couldn't make it work in Bavaria. Think James Rodriguez or even Philippe Coutinho. This ultimately reflects two very different footballing philosophies. Liverpool have mastered the art of renewal. They regularly sell players in their late 20s, not out of necessity, but as a calculated move to reinvest and refresh. In a game that now demands continuous evolution, they've learned to sell at the peak, keep wages in check, and avoid internal rifts, all while giving younger talents room to shine. Diaz's departure may sting, but it's part of a cycle. Ikitika is ready. Gakpo is rising again. Isak may well be next. And if history tells us anything, it's this. Players who leave Anfield rarely look the same elsewhere. That's not a coincidence. It's a testament to how precisely Liverpool manage both timing and talent. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich have looked increasingly lost in recent seasons. A revolving door of managers, from Julian Nagelsmann to Thomas Tuchel and now Vincent Kompany, combined with boardroom infighting, has left the club making more reactive decisions than strategic ones. They spent over 100 million euros on Harry Kane, a transfer that's delivered goals, yes, but with a 31-year-old forward, no one knows how long that return will last. Bayern are still struggling to build the right structure around Kane. Now they turn to Diaz, hoping he can be the left-wing weapon they've been missing since the days of Frank Ribéry. Maybe it's unfair to draw a direct comparison between Luis Diaz and Sadio Mane. Diaz has never been a source of locker room drama or scandal, but Mane's shadow still looms. After all, it was Diaz who replaced him at Liverpool, and now he's walking the same path to Munich, another high-profile winger expected to deliver instant success. To be clear, Bayern aren't wrong to bet on Diaz. At his best, he's one of the finest wingers in Europe, with blistering dribbles, relentless pressing, and fire in his game. But here's the twist. He didn't leave Anfield because he was unwanted. He left because he felt undervalued. At 28, he's chasing both silverware and a paycheck that reflects his worth. Bayern opened the door. He walked through it. For Liverpool, it's another shrewd move. They're letting go of a player at his peak, not when the decline begins. They're avoiding a situation where, a year or two from now, they could lose Diaz for far less, or for nothing. This wasn't about need, it was about vision. Liverpool are entering a new era, and you can't rebuild the future by clinging to the past. For Bayern, though, this isn't just a signing. It's a statement. We're still all in. We still have the guts to gamble. But they're betting on a soon-to-be 29-year-old who's never played in the Bundesliga and who thrives in freedom, something Kompany's tactically structured system may not easily allow. They've gambled before, on Mane, on Sané, and have been burned. And now, with Diaz, another flair player who plays on instinct and individuality, the question resurfaces. Will this time be any different? In the end, Liverpool and Diaz part ways, but in the rarest of ways, with both sides walking away as winners. Diaz gets a top-level stage and a significant boost in salary. Liverpool double the money they paid to sign him from Porto. And Bayern, they accept the risk, not because they doubt his talent, but because in modern football, sometimes spending big is less about certainty and more about belief.